busy. Yesterday we celebrated the wedding of my niece and came very late, but had a good night rest and I'm ready to start the week.
Oh, good. And now, Alex is not on yet?
Okay.
Alex is not on?
I know he's there.
I don't know.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm waiting for him.
Oh, okay. Let me call him, make sure that
Okay.
he's...
Okay.
I spoke with him today.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, bye. Yeah, he's...
What is the update from Toronto?
Oh, it's cold. There's no update.
All right.
It's cold.
Okay, that's cold is good. I like it.
Yeah. So how have you been?
Cold is good. And I think one of the things I would like to do is, these Great Lakes. I know Toronto is also linked with the Great Lakes, and Hafiza and Nafisa will be, living in Chicago. So we can also explore really taking care of comfort underwater.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go near water now.
I think because I was looking at, all the research which is being done in really developing the communities on the, of course, floating communities is a reality now. People are building them, but then people are also building research centers, like we're talking about a university campus. So they are building the research centers in underwater also. A lot of work is being done in Europe on it.
Oh.
Hi,
Hello,
Alex.
Alec. Good evening. How are you?
Terrific.
Last
How
Sunday.
are you? So you're into Monday.
I'm starting the week, Monday morning.
Okay. So Joan and I were talking earlier. I apologize. We've had a little hiccup at this end with Joanna's mother falling, breaking her hip in ambulance and hospital and so on.
Oh.
So we're just kind of taking our breath now. Because we may be getting a call any moment. They're standing by to do emergency surgery, so we just don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, let's focus on this. So I haven't had as much of a chance to prepare as I would like because of these happenings. So how be you to start the chat, and I'll ask the questions as we proceed, or how do you want to do this?
Okay. Basically, as a lean engineer and, learning a lot of things from Joanne, and her, systems, which are really established model of, non-profit as well as for-profit consulting organizations, which she is operating. So I decided to really do the same thing and create something which doesn't exist in the non-profit, domain. And
Right.
that is that, I'm creating a climate smart trust on the name of my father, who really made me, Shaikh Akbarali Mirza. So we are actually now looking into SAM Climate Smart Trust as a trust which helps everybody out by doing all the transactions in our pure gold coin.
Okay, now that I think that is absolutely terrific. May I speak to that for a second?
Please. That is the objective of the call. Need your wisdom and thoughts on it.
Well, as an example, I think it's a tremendous honor to name your trust after your dad. One of the issues when we deal with nomenclature, of course, is universality. And you want to make sure that the name is quickly and easily understood in different jurisdictions, in different languages. And so that's why it's wise to do that when you name the trust, to do it with that sense of universality to it. Because we find that when we move with different countries and different languages, the simpler you can make it, the more effective it is. So it's got some punch and immediate recognition. So I think that's terrific. Climate smart terminology, have they come up with a universal term for it, or does it just get Joan translated into whatever the local language happens to be?
And I think that is a climate smart standard is what I am developing.
Yes.
And I have developed it basically. So that's a small contribution which I am making by making sure that all the businesses, all the activities which we do on the planet today conforms to the climate smart standard, which doesn't hurt, humans and the residents of our planet and the Mother Earth itself.
Right, right. Now, it's Joan, may I pose a question, or you got something to say right now?
No, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Because you two have had these many discussions up until our first one the other day, and so I'm running hard to sort of catch up. The concern that I have is that before people pour a lot of time into this thing, and Fadl, you've got I should think, a huge amount of time. I know Joan's got a massive amount of time in developing her victory gardens. The issue is, where is the funding coming from? Do we have governments who have committed to work with you on some kind of contingent basis? How is that happening?
And to answer the question, we have in Pakistan a lot of success models, and those success models are very close to me. The place where I live, a gentleman by the name of Edi, a good friend of mine, started up helping everybody out. He says, well, I don't want anybody to, whoever is in trouble is there to help. Okay, so today, he has left us 2 years ago, and he has got all the honors of international honors any social entrepreneur can receive. And he just started on his own. He said, well, I want to help everybody out. I mean, irrespective of where the problem is. So he goes where the problem is, and support comes, after him. So I'm just following that model. They just do it, and we help everybody out just in time, solve the problem, and without worrying about where the resources and funds are going to be coming in. So that is my approach. And I have got a very solid fund generation mechanism, which I've developed in Africa, and now in Sierra Leone, we are legally incorporating both. I mean, the SAM's TQLMA Global is a legal entity in Sierra Leone now with a bank account and everything, which we talked about last time. Today, it is a legal entity. And we are also incorporating in collaboration with Zandris Foundation, our SAM Climate Smart Trust, or a foundation, whatever we call it. So both the organization will be legally present in Sierra Leone. I'm doing the same thing in Pakistan. Okay, so it's a legally recognized organization in Pakistan. The Prime Minister of Pakistan is a fantastic model because he was a cricketer, he was a sportsman, and then his mother died of cancer. Okay? And he started up the Shaukat Khanam, cancer hospital. And he did it single-handedly. He has a 501c3 organization in USA. Okay, he started collecting funds from everybody. Everybody contributed. And today that hospital exists. And based on that particular project, he became so popular that he's the Prime Minister of Pakistan today.
Well, I think that is a superb model. I'll tell you the concern I'm having right now with that model, which is to have your belief and sort of like Mother Teresa step forward, and as you progress, you act as the proselyte to win everybody over, and it's like the Pied Piper, and that is the classic model of getting a nonprofit going, which is a tremendous amount of faith and a tremendous amount of time and all sorts of people getting involved. The problem I'm seeing now in the last year with COVID and everybody sort of running for the doors, although the stock market is hitting new highs, ability of that, because gold should, when you've got the concerns around that, gold should be stronger than it is, or in turn plummeting down if the stock market is seen as truly solid. There's some indicators here that you both can see that don't make sense when you look at the potential in North America. Is a huge number of small businesses that are likely dying and never going to come back. So all the family equity that's into those is going to be gone. So what I'm seeing is there, and I had a meeting with one president yesterday, and then two others joined at the end, and they're all terribly private enterprises, and two of the three have been around for roughly 40 years. So what I'm seeing is that the model, let's call it the Mother Teresa model, that your Prime Minister of Pakistan basically used for getting the cancer hospital going. That model is under threat now. And it's almost as the Renaissance, where you had the odd wealthy sort of baron or count or whatever he was, who acted as patron for Mozart or any of those gifted chaps. And you need the patron to write a foundation check of some substance to give people the difficulty, I think, getting the people to weigh in and do this, as marvelous as the project is. Now, you've got a huge project here with 53,000 female engineers, all incredible stuff for the rights movement, education, the climate smart idea, which I think is like motherhood, everybody's in favor. But my concern is having people come on board, bringing what it is that they have to the table, whether it's their their technology or their copyrights or their networks on the sense of good faith, an easy sell. I don't think it is. So I think what we need to do is start cobbling together the core, and I believe you've done that. You've got a sense of your 8 courses. Joan has hers fully established, and there's some strong things that comes a patron in the wings whom you can convince to seed this thing with pick a number, 100,000, 200,000, whatever dollars, and that you should likely have. I presume you likely have done. If you haven't, it's that the patron would pay for, and that you can then parade in front of people, say, this isn't just wishful thinking. We have something of some substance here. Here's the strategy, here are the tactics, here's the network. We put together a trust like that. And we got seed money, we got the players, and we went to the banking authorities in a couple foreign offshore jurisdictions. And we named the players who were doing what, who was contributing, and we were able to put it together because we had some seed money. We had a very specific plan. It was all done in writing, and they stamped their imprimatur on it so that we could proceed. My concern with this COVID thing and the markets roiling with what's going on is, can we identify a patron who will give people the sense of comfort that there is a commitment there, is that they got to the table, because everybody's got to sign non-disclosure, non-circumvention agreements, obviously, when you put together your memorandum of understanding. Do we have anybody on the horizon like that, Joan or Mafadel, who will open the purse strings to try to get this going, as opposed to the brilliant ideas that we've got? Is there anybody identified who's prepared to get the thing started?
I think that's more of a question for Mafadel, because it's his organization. My role in this is that he wants to use the Victory Garden, and which there's a cost for. So that's a question for you, Mafadel.
Well, I think the driving force behind this whole model is SAMS, and which is the abbreviation of Sayyidina Ali Qadar Mufaddal Saifuddin, who is the Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. It's a 100-year-old university, and all the alumni, professors, and students will be behind this project. So I would consider Sayyidina Ali Qadar Mufaddal Saifuddin, the Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University, as our sponsor for establishing this trust, which is a global trust, which will be established in all countries of the world, and all legal requirements of all the countries will be met.
Okay, and that's absolutely admirable, fully support it. But to create and register a trust in 200 jurisdictions, let's say, means that lawyers have to be paid locally, the attorney general's fees have to be paid, and so on. And so even if each one only costs $10,000, under jurisdictions right there. Right.
So I think that funding is available, and it is being generated simply based on our gold transactions, which we are doing. Because now with SAM's TQLMA Global Sierra Leone as a company, which is in the process of now acquiring the Buffalo gold mine, which is a $2 billion gold mine we are acquiring. And SAM Climate Smart Trust will actually acquire this mine also. So this $2 billion asset, which is available to us, is a huge asset and a collateral, which is available, and it's attractive for everybody. Because we are not talking about getting money from people without the solid backing of our own. So the SAM Climate Smart Trust will own, for just $110 million, which I need to pay, we are owning a $2 billion gold mine in Buffalo. And all the engineers of Africa will be enrolled in our Gamba program. 1,000 of them are already available. So 1,000 engineers from ECOWAS will be enrolled by our gemologist, David, into the Gamba program, which is a $5,300 PGC or $10,600 program, so that all those engineers will be coming to Oregon and start building this climate smart campus town, which will be on the model of Aligarh Muslim University. So all the alumni of Aligarh Muslim University, all rich people, basically very, very high performance people, will also be with us.
Okay, and that has particular attraction. So what I'm understanding is, at the core of it, we're talking about funding this international multinational trust named after Dad, with a $2 billion valued gold mine, and that is being moved into the trust for the sake of only 5%. Right. For $100 million, $110 million. That's it. Exactly. The title for the what you have to then raise is the 110 million in order to close the deal, correct?
Correct. And that is, the driving force is this. Now, multiply 10,600 by 1,000. Those engineers are available in ECOWAS countries. Plus, I'm enrolling 50,000 engineers available from Pakistan Engineering Council into our GAMBA program for the agricultural projects in Texas. So all those funds are available. Now, people are looking at where to deposit those funds. And, SAM's TQLMA Global now has an account established in Sierra Leone. We will be establishing our account also in USA now, because Hafiza Nafisa will be in Chicago very soon, this week. So she will be leading our for-profit company, and we will be opening up our bank account over there. And that way, in the same bank, it could be HSBC, which is the bank I like for doing my gold transactions. And all the Chinese funds from CPEC, etc. Comes into that Chinese bank. So I like to use that bank as our for-profit bank as well as a non-for-profit bank. But Standard Chartered is another option. Standard Chartered is a UK bank, and which is available in Pakistan and in Africa and everywhere else. So we can use Standard Chartered also.
Okay, because in my experience offshore, which is pretty extensive, but it likely pales in comparison to yours, so I salute you. But in my experience, in putting large international deals like this together, because it is scope, each at 10,600 each, that's not a particularly big deal. But when you start multiplying by the numbers you're talking, now we're getting into something quite substantial. And to do that, as the three of us, the reputation of the players involved, because if somebody simply takes a look at the typical investment man's green sheet, which is, whenever you float a deal, you do a green sheet. When anybody in the I think really the very first component of the three that he looks at is the who is behind it. What's the reputation of the players who are the key guys or key women involved in the thing? And so that's why one of the banking players gives a sense of comfort to serious players around the world, because the whole world knows about Standard Chartered. You have your favorite bank that you want involved in that, but most of the key plays to have a big international one like that involved. Now, if I can branch beyond that, the concern I have is you've already put different players coming to the table, each bringing something to the table, and you've got some strong tactics in making the strategy work. But has somebody of some note and ability put together a strategic plan or a feasibility study on this that we can have people sign a non-disclosure, non-circumvention to read? Are we at the point, or is it still talking with key players who are going to be bringing the pieces to the table, strategic plan or that feasibility study done that you can distribute under control?
I have done the feasibility of, technological feasibility, and Chalfu International is expert. I'm a managing director of that organization also in USA, and they are expert in making a bankable feasibility. And for instance, the quotation I have from them to make the feasibility of and raise the funds also, $110 million for the Buffalo gold mine, basically $200 billion for the gold mine is like $110,000. So, for $110,000, a complete feasibility, bankable feasibility, plus a $200 million fundraising in 120 days has been committed by Chalfu International. So, we have to just, I can engage, Chalfu also to actually create that bankable feasibility.
Okay, so so you now have a respected document with the feasibility study that they did, and as you approach different, you can present that to them as long as they sign a non-disclosure, non-circumvention agreement, correct?
Well, that is what we will do it, only to the people who will contribute to the tune of at least $110 million. We are not going to be sharing our confidential feasibility studies and all our plans and financials and everything with Tom, Dick, and Harry. If I can get a proof of fund from an organization which has $110 million to invest, I will share the feasibility with them.
Okay, so and that to me makes sense, that unless somebody can have a proof of funds of let's round it out at 100 million, they're not going to get to see your feasibility study.
No,
right?
They will not see the feasibility. Because
okay.
It's my project. And I don't like people to, and in the past,
yeah,
I've shared the feasibility, which at least worth $1 million. People have taken it and I didn't got any money for it. They misused it, because all these scammers are there.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because you've got a tremendous amount of intellectual capital tied up in the feasibility study. It's not only
Exactly.
the money that you paid for it, but it's all of the, it's really the blueprint of success. Keep that one close to the chest. The problem is, who's going to provide proof of funds at 100 million unless they see it, and you're not going to show
currently
it
a
until you
lot
see
of the
the
people,
proof of funds.
Alec, a lot of the people are interested in providing that proof of fund. One of the organizations which is providing the proof of fund is Ajman Emirates Gold Refinery, because they have really evaluated our asset of $2 billion. Very, very interested in acquiring, just one person, one organization, Ajman Emirates Gold Refinery of Dubai. They are interested. Okay, so I've shared the feasibilities with them. I've shared all the documents of the gold mine with them. So that is just one organization which is coming up with $110 million. And they have got that because I've received that information from them. They are also my partner refinery in Dubai. Along with, we have refineries in Dallas also, Chalfu International. So Chalfu International has the feasibility. Chalfu International can create a bankable feasibility. Chalfu International can raise $200 million for this project, from their banks, which they work with. So all those options are available to us, which is a regular way of, financing the project. But my interest is to make 2 billion mothers owner of this gold mine. Okay, and I want Joanne to really train, selected, mothers like 53,000, which we are talking about now, into the climate smart community leaders. So that's the role she is going to be playing. And with 53,000 mothers, I don't need anybody else. 53,000 mothers enroll in our Gamba program. We can, they will be owning this gold mine, and I'm not going to be selling it to one individual.
Well, I think it's a brilliant concept, a very worthy concept. And my concern is to make sure that you've gone from step 2, which is the feasibility study, through step 3, which is the prospective partners. And you've got various ones who are sniffing around the deal, who may be signing memorandums of get close. And now it's into the nitty gritty of who shows what before they make a commitment. So I think you're absolutely on the right track. My concern about having in these uncertain times, having a patron that will, you're almost there. And the trick that you've put together, I think, is essential, saying we've got somebody with a substantial asset, obviously being the gold mine, really 5 cents on the dollar, moving it into Dad's trust, Sam's trust, to grease this thing. And so that's a major humanitarian commitment, but concept like this. So my sense is that you're already putting the pieces together, and you just have to make sure that you don't make a misstep, because each of these steps is huge leverage. His concern is, I think I'd love to be part of it. I think I can make a serious contribution, but I've got an awful lot on my plate right now, and I got some bills to pay with. I'm wondering just how you see that I can contribute. I know that Joan has made certainly my understanding, has made a huge commitment getting her project off the ground, and she's getting some, like the Western world, and I think beyond. So you have a major project. Joan's got her hands full, I think, now, but wants to be part of that. And I got my hands full trying to move. I can't speak for Joan, of course, but how do you see that we can be of significant help to you and also be able to pay our bills in the process? How do you see that coming together, formalize that thought?
Well, I think the process is very simple, Alec, because, Joanne has a very established organization. So there is, obviously, you are part of that team, and, you are sharing your wisdom and experiences with it. And that is very simple, that, we don't want really people to, leave whatever they are doing and then be part of an organization and do not do the justice. Because, I'm looking at young people who have the energy, who have the time and everything to do it.
Yeah,
so, they will be actually leading the show.
Yeah, Mufado, Alec is independent of FBSC.
Okay.
Yeah, just to he
so
just
I would
when,
like to, Alec, it's your choice, your decision. Let us know how your organization and you as an individual would like to contribute, either in my for-profit company, or ideally, for-profit companies under control, but ideally in doing the SAM Climate Smart Trust, okay? And wherever your jurisdiction is, wherever you are residing, I believe you are in USA. So we incorporate that as a 501c3 company. You take the road, you take the lead. I will provide you the funding to do it, and you provide your wisdom, experience, and time, whatever small amount of time it takes. And we will be in a very, very good shape to make sure that it is done properly in USA, and after it is done in USA, then we expand it globally.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So what I think the three of us need to do is reflect a bit, because our first discussion was clearly initial, and certainly tease me into being excited. This has helped frame it far more as to where you are and where you're going, and to decide where we each can fit into success and challenge. So I think what I'd like to do is follow up by email with the two of you and try to put more boundaries around what we're looking at. We've each got, I mean, I'm sure I speak for the three of us, we've each got quite a number of things on our plate, and it's how can we rank them and do justice to what we've got going here, this massive project underway, and contribute to it. And, you know, given that they're only 24 hours in a day, and what we see as one another's strength, SWOT analysis, and how that optimally fits together. So I'm excited, no question. I see some dangers, but I think you're clearly a bright guy with a lot of experience. Joan has impressed me over the years as also a very bright person who's got an awful lot going. And I happen to think I'm not too stupid either, but if you amazing things. So do we simply think on things for the next day or two and try to follow up by email, or what's the suggestion?
Well, we can do that. But what I want to say is that I want to be a service provider to the group. I don't want to be part of the group.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty clear. That's pretty clear.
So if they need training in the climate smart entrepreneurship or the Victory Garden, I'm there. I will provide. I just want to be a service provider.
Okay.
I think joint position is very clear. I think we agree, with her plan, and she is 110% booked. And I'm really fortunate that she is really providing her time to us. But now her role is very clear. I want to do this, on my own, to set up this 501c3 company, which is 100% in our control. And this 501c3 company will be interacting with Joanne's in terms of, financially supporting all these students and, her programs. So our foundation will be paying, her organization in USA or in Canada. And then that's our understanding.
So the issue was which entity was going to do that. I think that was where we were stuck in, and then to come up with an agreement and what's the start date we have. So I guess we're still in that. Which entity and when?
Well, I think we are ready, Joanne, in terms of the planning stages. I will get it done in this month, okay? And with respect to you providing the training, you should plan on providing the training starting April 1 or April 2.
So we're done with the CDF stuff?
No, CDF and, is a separate organization. CDF needs my support. I will be supporting them. My position is very clear with everybody. Okay. Everybody has to become a TQLMA club member. If they don't become a member, they don't get my support.
Okay.
Very simple.
Yeah. All right. So
it's your model actually, which I'm following.
All right. So maybe you and Alec could dialogue and see how you can work together then. And
yeah, we will do that, and we will come up with a plan of really incorporating this as a 501c3 company. And otherwise, Joanne, with respect to your programs, you will be receiving all the funds from our company in Sierra Leone and our foundation in Sierra Leone also. So that is also, that is already existing basically. The bank account is already there, and I can really, as a for-profit company, transfer the funds to your account. There's no issue there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So Joan, your position is quite clear as a service provider, and you're absolutely superb at that. That's great. And then
I'm looking forward to 1 minute left on this
next
meeting, Alec. So I look forward to an email, describing your company, your credentials, and then we come up with a proposal as to how much time you can give us, and how we can work together.
Perfect. We'll you and I will put some stuff together and exchange it and see where we go. Terrific.
There we go. Okay.
Well,
perfect.
thank you both.
Thank you very much for providing us the time. And blessed Sunday to you. And happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Okay. God bless. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.